Our planet began in about 4.6 billion years ago, and our moon started in 4.5 billion years ago. At 4.45 billion years ago, the Earth is now 7 hours long. At 4.28 billion years ago, water started condensing. At 4 billion years ago, the Earth is now 14 hours and 24 minutes long. At 3.9 billion years ago, the Earth is now 15 hours long. At 3.6 billion years ago, Valbara has formed. At 3.5 billion years ago, life started as prokaryotes. At 3 billion years ago, there's 15% of CO2. At 2.9 billion years ago, Pongola glaciation occurred. At 2.8 billion years ago, the breakup of Valbara. At 2.7 billion years ago, the new supercontinent Coneland has formed. At 2.5 billion years ago, the first free oxygen is delivered. At 2.4 billion years ago, the Great Oxidation Event has occurred. At 2.2 billion years ago, organisms with mitochondria appeared. At 2.1 billion years ago, the end of Huronian Ice Age. At 2.023 billion years ago, a meteor impacted in Vadfor, South Africa, leaving a 300 kilometers crater. At 2 billion years ago, oxygen starts accumulating in the atmosphere. At 1.85 billion years ago, another meteor impact in Ontario, Canada, leaving a 250 kilometers crater. At 1.8 billion years ago, another supercontinent, Columbia, also called Nuna, has formed. At 1.6 billion years ago, eukaryotes, or nucleated cells, appeared. At 1.2 billion years ago, the origin of sexual reproduction. At 1.1 billion years ago, another supercontinent, Rodinia, has formed. At 1 billion years ago, multicellular organisms appear. At 950 million years ago, the start of the Stuartian-Varangian Ice Age. At 900 million years ago, the Earth is now 18 hours long. At 750 million years ago, the breakup of Rodinia. At 650 million years ago, and mass extinction of 70% of sea plants due to global glaciation. At 600 million years ago, the Earth is now 20.7 hours long. At 590 million years ago, another meteor impact in Acraman, Australia, leaving a 90 kilometers crater. At 580 million years ago, soft-bodied organisms developed. At 570 years ago, shelled invertebrates appeared. At 550 years ago, Pannotia splited into Laurasia and Gondwana. At 510 million years ago, vertebrates appeared in the ocean. At 450 million years ago, the start of the Andean-Saharan Ice Age. At 443 million years ago, the glaciation of Gondwana. At 420 million years ago, the end of the Andean-Saharan Ice Age, and the Earth is about 21.8 hours long. At 400 million years ago, the land animals appeared. At 376 million years ago, Vilui Trapp's large igneous province volcanic eruption. At 375 million years ago, the oxygen level is about 16%. At 374 million years ago, surface temperatures dropped from about 93 degrees to about 78 degrees. At 370 million years ago, first trees appeared. At 359 million years ago, another meteor impact in Woodley, Australia, leaving an 40 kilometers crater. At 350 million years ago, first winged insects appeared. At 324 million years ago, Caesar covered parts of the continents. At 300 million years ago, first reptiles, also known as dipsids, appeared, and Earth Day is about 22.4 hours long. At 275 million years ago, another supercontinent called Pangaea has formed. At 260 million years ago, the end of the Karoo Ice Age. At 252 million years ago, the period of Great Volcanism in Siberia. At 251 million years ago, the Permian Triassic extinction. At 240 million years ago, sea urchins appeared. At 235 million years ago, the split between dinosaurs and lizards. At 214 million years ago, another meteor impact in Quebec, Canada, leaving a 100 kilometers crater. At 205 million years ago, the first evidence of mammals. At 201 million years ago, the age of the dinosaurs started. At 180 million years ago, North America separates from Africa. At 167 million years ago, another meteor impacted Puchikatunki, Russia, leaving an 80 kilometers crater. At 166 million years ago, the split between monotremes and primitive mammals. At 150 million years ago, the first birds appeared. At 148 million years ago, the split between the marsupial and the eutherian mammals. At 145 million years ago, another meteor impact in Morokweng, South Africa, leaving a 70 kilometers crater. At 133 million years ago, another meteor impact in Tukunuka, Australia, leaving a 55 kilometers crater. At 125 million years ago, Africa and India separated from Antarctica. At 120 million years ago, the global warming event starts. At 116 million years ago, the first birds without teeth appeared. At 110 million years ago, the crocodiles appeared and snakes evolved. At 105 million years ago, the formation of the Atlantic Ocean. At 100 million years ago, the first ants appeared. At 90 million years ago, the global warming event ends. At 85 million years ago, Australia started to separate from Antarctica. At 70 million years ago, another meteor impact in Kara, Russia, leaving a 65 kilometers crater. At 68 million years ago, the T-Rex thrived. At 67.5 million years ago, volcanic eruptions starts in India. At 65.5 million years ago, another meteor impact at the Yucatan Peninsula, Mexico, leaving a 170 km crater, causing the dinosaurs to wipe out. At 63 million years ago, the placental mammals appeared. At 60 million years ago, the first grasses appeared. At 58.8 million years ago, CO2 concentration was 2000 parts per million. At 50 million years ago, India meets Asia, which forms the Himalayas. At 45 million years ago, Earth Day is now 24 hours long. At 35.6 million years ago, both meteor impacts in Virginia, USA and Popigal, Russia, leaving both 90 and 100 kilometers craters. At 34 million years ago, global cooling creates an ice sheet. Now let's zoom the geological timeline closer. At 30 million years ago, Australia and South America both separated from Antarctica. At 27.8 million years ago, the Colorado supervolcanic eruption. At 21 to 14 million years ago, the Miocene warming period. At 14 million years ago, the polar ocean builds up the Antarctic ice cap. At 14 to 6 million years ago, first raccoons appear. At 6 million years ago, uprising walking hominins appeared. At 4.4 million years ago, Ardipithecus appeared. At 4 million years ago, North and South Americas joined the Isthmus of Panama. At 3.9 million years ago, Australopithecus appeared. At 3.7 million years ago, Australopithecus inhabit eastern and northern Africa. At 3 million years ago, the Arctic ice cap formed. At 2.4 million years ago, Homo habilis appeared. At 2.1 million years ago, the Yellowstone supervolcanic eruption occurred. Now let's zoom it a little closer. At 2 million years ago, the Stone Age begun. At 1.7 million years ago, Homo erectus moves out of Africa. Zooming in a little bit closer. At 1.3 million years ago, another Yellowstone supervolcanic eruption. At 1.3 million to 820,000 years ago, the Sherwin glaciation. Zooming in even closer.